Hello and welcome to another video. So today's video I'm really excited about. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I've needed to take the time to sit down and do it. And that is because today's video I'm going to be ranking my top 10 favorite face molds from Integrity Toys. So Integrity Toys has a very large number of face molds and characters. Then you even have characters that use the same face mold in certain cases. And then there's different lines because you have Fashion Royalty, New Face, Meteor, Poppy Parker, East 59th, and then there's also the Monarchs. And so there's all these different lines within Integrity Toys, and they all have their own face sculpts. So I really wanted to sit down. I had an idea of like what my favorite face sculpts were. I think anyone who collects Integrity Toys has an idea already. But I really wanted to sit down and go through like all the different face sculpts and their releases and stuff like that to really nail down officially what I believe my top 10 favorite face sculpts are at this time. And I will say I was surprised by some of the face sculpts. I will say all of the face sculpts in my top 10 were face sculpts I was already aware of. However, the ranking of them really turned out differently than I was expecting. But yeah, that is what this video is going to be about. But before we get into that, there's something else I want to talk about first. So in my last video, I went over the Sinuhe Guzman x Integrity Toys collab, which was where we had the release of the the two pack, the Surrealist Gala. That's what it was. And it was a Veronique and Vanessa, and it was a $300 two pack. They were both very beautiful, and I expressed my thoughts then that like I thought they were stunning, incredible dolls, but I wasn't gonna enter for them because I have so many dolls that are coming and things like that. And I am now gonna let you guys know I recorded that video the day the reveal happened, and then that video came out on Saturday. So even after that video came out, it had been 5 days since I think it was revealed on Monday or Tuesday. It had been a couple of days since I'd recorded that video. And since then I actually had the chance to like talk directly with Sinuhe Guzman, which was pretty cool. And we like talked about the dolls, the release and stuff like that. He really, he ended up like shifting my opinion even more so. Like I said, I love the dolls from the beginning. But I was like, I can't enter for them. There's no way. But then I talked with him. I was like, okay, I got to do it. And I actually did end up entering for the lottery for the two pack. And I'm really glad I did. And I actually got very lucky, and I was picked in the lottery. So I actually will be getting the Veronique and Vanessa Parents Surrealist Gala 2-pack. As far as like how I'm gonna afford it, I talked to my husband. I was like, my birthday's in November. They're supposed to ship out in September. Basically, that's like could be a great early birthday present. And my husband was like, yeah, go for it if you want to get it. So basically, they're gonna be like an early birthday gift from my husband or something like that. I haven't really, done the math yet, but I did end up entering for them. I'm really excited, and I did want to update you guys that like I did decide to enter for them and that I did win them, which I feel very lucky for because I know there's a lot of people who wanted to get that 2-pack. So yeah, but that's not what this video is about. Just want to give you guys an update. But let's go ahead and jump straight into ranking my top 10 for Integrity Toy face sculpts. Okay, so here we are. This is going to be the setup for ranking the doll face sculpts. I'm going to explain it, but obviously you can already see in 10th place we have Aimeline. But I want to start off by just explaining how all this came together and kind of explain the setup. For starters, as you can see, I'm just going to be pointing over here because I have on my second screen over here. We have the name of the face sculpt / character. That's going to be the first thing. Then in the far corner, we have what rank they are, and I'm doing my top 10. So obviously number 10's there. Underneath, we have what doll line they come from. So Aimeline, she is a Fashion Royalty sculpt, so therefore Fashion Royalty. And then down at the bottom, we have 3 different dolls. each of the dolls I have given the name of like what release it is. So in case you see a doll and you're interested and you're like, oh, I want to look at that doll specifically, you don't have to go search through that character's entire repertoire of releases. You can literally just look for that specific one. So for example, right below me, we have Midnight Garden Ameline. So then Midnight Garden's right underneath. And the last thing I guess to explain would be that I only chose 3 photos for each doll. And the photos I chose, it's not necessarily who I think is like the best version of that face sculpt's like full release. It's more of like the face. Like I don't care about the outfit necessarily. Like some of these dolls you're gonna see, I haven't mentioned on like a Grail list or anything like that, and that's because like maybe there's something about the doll I'm not interested in. But I think the photos I chose shows off why I think it's such a good face sculpt, if that makes sense. I hope that wasn't too boring of it, like an intro, like what? That wasn't too much of a over explanation or anything. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into number 10, which is Ameline. So Ameline is my number 10 doll. She's from Fashion Royalty. We already went over all of that. And then down here at the bottom, we have Midnight Garden, Celebration, and Spring 2020, which I think this, not I think, the Spring 2020 doll is also a Jason Wu, like, recreation from one of his runway looks. So there may be a fuller name, but I found, like, Spring 2020 as being, like, her name. But anyway, so this face sculpt, if I'm honest with you guys, you probably heard me talk about Ameline before. She, I know she used to be a face sculpt for the taller, like 16-inch dolls, and then that was retired, and now she's been put on the 12-inch doll, and she's had a couple of releases, but she's still kind of new to the 12-inch dolls. And when I first saw her, I saw the Midnight Garden doll, which is a very expensive doll. Like, if you guys look up that doll's resale price, it's a lot, and it's because she comes with, like, so many accessories and everything. But I was really blown away when I saw Midnight Garden. She's really, really beautiful. And then Celebration came out, which is also beautiful, but I love how much the screening changes up between Celebration and Midnight Garden. It just shows how much can be done with this face sculpt. And I think that's more of why she's here, because I'm excited to see what's to come from this face sculpt, as well as I just think she's really beautiful. When I first decided to start collecting Integrity toys, I was trying to figure out, like, oh, who's my favorite face sculpt? And she was one of the ones that really drew me in and I really liked, even though she didn't have a lot of dolls. So I think she's really beautiful. She's really pretty. And the Midnight Garden, I cannot tell you who specifically, but she reminds me of someone from like a season of America's Next Top Model. I didn't really watch that seriously. Like, I don't think I could really name any of the contestants from that show, but it was something kind of that was like on the background on the TV, like during the summer, like while I was eating lunch or something. I never watched it like I was never super dedicated to watching it, but she looks really familiar, and I keep, like, the idea of America's Next Top Model keeps coming to my head whenever I see the Midnight Garden Ameline, but I couldn't tell you who. But anyway, yeah. So Ameline comes at number 10. Very beautiful doll, and I'm excited to get to number 9. Okay, here we have number 9, and this is Eugenia Perrin Frost. She is a Fashion Royalty sculpt as well, and she's definitely a fan favorite. I know she has a big fan base within the Integrity Toys community. I've seen her talked about very highly many, many, many times, and I can completely understand why. She is very, very beautiful doll. She has really good features. I'm actually, like, still disappointed myself for not, like, realizing how much, like, beauty there is in the sculpt, because when my first year of collecting Integrity Toys, which was the 2023 year, she was one of the W Club upgrade dolls, and I ended up passing on her because I did not like the fashion at all, but the doll herself was really pretty. So I, not enough to, like, go back and buy her, because there's, like, other dolls higher on my list when it comes to, like, nude Integrity dolls that I'm interested in for their face and stuff like that. But she is one that's like, wow, I really let her just, like, go by because I didn't take any time to look at her face, because she has a really pretty face. But I think these three Eugenias are like the epitome of Eugenia, honestly. Like, Secret Garden is just, she's so sultry and so, I don't know. Like, she's just incredible. And then you have Modernist, which I love because I don't know if it's different for, like, if they did the screening different or something like that, but she stands out so much from the typical Eugenias. I know this isn't a skin tone we see Eugenia in a lot as well, but it's more of like how they did the lip or maybe the eye makeup. I'm not even sure, but I really, really like Modernist Eugenia. She's so pretty. And then Bite Out of Life. I I've said before I love big bold makeup. Like I love like really big makeup. And Bite Out of Life is just like so vampy and dark and I don't know. She's just serving. She's serving so hard. But yeah, so that's kind of all I have to say about Eugenia. She's a really beautiful face and very popular face sculpt amongst Integrity Toys collectors, and I totally get why. So now let's get into number 8. Okay, now we have number 8, which is Reina. She is a new face model, and this is a face sculpt that really, I will be honest, I was completely ignorant of until this year's upgrade doll, the Sweet Retreat Reina, which is the only upgrade doll I decided to get from this W Club year. And I really wasn't aware of Reina too much. I was just like, oh yeah, she's pretty cute. And then like she got that doll, the upgrade doll, and I was like, oh, I like her. But then a while back on my channel, I did a video where I talked about like I ranked. I think it was like my top 10 like W Club upgrade dolls of all time, and that's when I found Eye Candy Reina, and I was just like, whoa. Whoa, you know, it just like took my breath away. I was like, that is such a beautiful doll. I don't care at all for her outfit. I'm not like into the whole denim overall thing she has going, but the doll is so beautiful. And then she has this colorful makeup, which I love. And then of course, Wild Feeling. I've seen a lot of people talk about this Reina before. She's a very, very pretty Reina. Like the outfit and everything. It was before my club time, but had I been around, definitely would have been one I pursued. And then we have A Fabulous Life, and she's just so enchanting. She's like so dark, and she really gives me the show Once Upon a Time. She reminds me of Regina. It's like the haircut and everything, but she's just beautiful. And I think all three of these dolls, like if they were put in front of me, I'm not like perfect at recognizing face sculpts, but I almost wouldn't realize this is the exact same face sculpt. Like it is done so well, and there's so many good Reinas. Like it took me a while to decide like which three to use here because even Sweet Retreat Reina, which is going to be the doll that I'll have later this year, she's a stunning Reina too. And so I really went back and forth trying to figure out like what are the best Reinas. But yeah, she's beautiful, like really, really beautiful. I really like Reina, and I'm like looking at the different Reinas. It just has me more excited for my Reina that's on her way. So that is number 8. I can see the angry comments now, but number 7 is Poppy Parker. So I want to start by saying, no, I do not hate Poppy Parker. I know I've talked before, like I'm not a big Poppy collector, but even that being said, I still am fully aware that Poppy is beautiful in the face. Like, face card will never decline. She is stunning. I'm just more of a fan when she does kind of more of a modern look, with the exception of the We Love Poppy right down here. So good. Like, the grayscale Poppy Parker is just, I'm obsessed with it, the black and white TV thing. But as you can tell from the other two, like I'm really drawn to like the more modern, up to date, more mature looking poppies. And that's kind of why I don't collect Poppy too much because she is kind of more of a youthful and very like kind of like sweet, but I like, you know, more like adult, fashion forward, modern when it comes to my dolls. However, Poppy Parker's face is timeless. She is so beautiful. She's so stunning, and there's no flaws. Like flawless, flawless. It's just there's other face molds I like am more drawn to, but I do think Poppy Parker is very beautiful, and that is why she comes in at number 7. So now at number 6, we have Naja Rhymes 2.0. She is a new face model, and looking at this, it almost hurts because right here in front of us, we have 2 dolls that I had the opportunity to at least pursue, and I did not do either of them. I'm not going to beat myself up over it, but Naja is so beautiful. She's so beautiful. I don't even know like what to say. Like, she's so unique. So like, for example, I feel like I need to be careful with how I say this because I don't think Barbie face sculpts compare to Integrity Toys face sculpts. I think Integrity Toys face sculpts are like leagues and leagues and leagues above the Barbie face sculpts. However, I can say like sometimes you can see like the smallest amount of like slight similarities, I guess I could say. It's like sometimes you see Integrity Toys face sculpting, you're like, oh, I could almost see her as a Barbie or something like that. If it makes sense. Not that I would ever confuse the two, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can kind of see it. But like the Naja Rhymes face sculpt is so detailed, so beautiful, and I like could never imagine Barbie pulling off a face like this, like ever. It's just she just gives like it girl, like the bad girl gives no fucks energy every single time. Every one of her releases is just like she's that girl, and it's so good. I know at some point I like Naja Rhymes is gonna come into my collection at some point. It may be a past release or maybe it's a future release. Who knows? But like, I know one day I need to have a Naja in my collection. She's so stunning, so beautiful, a big fan favorite, and yeah, that's why she comes in at number 6. And now we have my number 5 ranked top face sculpt of Integrity Toys, the only boy on this list. So like, there's no need for me to tease that there's a boy past this point. Thiago. Oh, I thought it was Valentine. Is it Valente? He is a new face character, and I have shared this many times on this channel, but I think Thiago is the most beautiful boy doll ever made. Like, not just in Integrity, but just ever made. He is so beautiful. He's like the perfect mix of like masculine and feminine. Like, he's just beautiful. And as you can see, I have the Monsieur doll twice, and that is because Thiago has only had 2 releases so far, the mixed media and the Monsieur. So obviously I had to do one twice, and Monsieur is definitely like my favorite Thiago if I had to pick one, but also mixed media is beautiful as well. He is just such a well done boy doll. He's so pretty. Like, I don't know what else to say. He's stunning. I'm gonna have a Thiago. I had the opportunity to have one. I missed it. I don't want to get into it. But he is such a good doll. And I don't know. He's the best boy doll ever, in my opinion. So good. And I don't know what else to say past that. He's just so beautiful. So Thiago comes in at number 5. So now let's get to number 4. This is where, like, we're starting to get to the dolls that just, like, every time I see them, it's just, like, I catch my breath. Like, they're so good. So, number 4, we have Natalia Fatale 2.0, and she is a fashion royalty doll. Natalia is such a good face. Like, she's so pretty, and she's the one I knew about when I first started collecting Integrity Toys because of the Make Me Blush doll. So, I think I've talked about it before. I like followed Integrity Toys for a couple years before I actually ended up joining, and I remember when I saw the like boudoir collection and the Make Me Blush Natalia, I was just like jaw drop. I could not, like, she's so beautiful. Like, the Make Me Blush Natalia is so good. But that's not even like her only good release, because we also have Resurgence, we have Bellissima, who I think is also really pretty. And then even like back here I have oh no, she is falling all the way over. But anyway, right here I even have Bombshell Beach, Natalia, who is, like, look at her. She's so good. So stunning. I love this face sculpt, this doll. And I was aware of her even before and I was a fan. But then after getting this Natalia, I was like, okay, she's serving. She's incredible. Big fan. So yeah, Natalia Fatale is definitely deserves a number 4 spot. For some reason, when I was thinking, like, before I started this list, I had this, like, mental idea of what my top 5 was. And I don't know why, but Natalia Fatale didn't immediately come to mind. Like, I wasn't like, oh, she's in the top 5. But then when I, like, started putting it together, I was like, obviously, she's in the top 5. Like, there's no debate. And I don't know why that is, that I didn't think of her right away. But yeah, Natalia, I think, is so beautiful. And it's just, when looking, like, she's a very much an older character. She's a character that's been around for a very long time. But when I look at, like, all of her kind of what I consider her modern releases, there's not really one where I'm, like, not interested. I'm not always interested in the fashion, but the doll is always so stunning. Like, she pulls off long hair, she pulls off short hair, she pulls off big makeup, small makeup. Like, she does it all. And I think that's kind of, like, why I did these, because, like, you have her with, like, this big red hair and small makeup, but then you have her with this, like, short asymmetrical bob where she's got, like, glittery makeup, but then you have this, like, very classic this very classic kind of waved hairstyle. And every time she's timeless. She looks so good always. And that's why she comes in number 4. But now we're moving up to the creme de la creme. We are going into the top 3. These are, like, the best of the best in my opinion. And let's just go ahead and get into it. Okay, so it is another day, hence the outfit change, but I'm picking up right where we left off. And we are at number 3 of my favorite face molds, and that is Adele Makeda 2.0. So, Adele... So when I originally started collecting Integrity toys, I knew Adele was a very beautiful face sculpt, but I didn't consider her one of my top ranked face sculpts until I finally had an Adele in my hand, which is exactly why I have the pink glam Adele Makeda right here, because that is the face sculpt that, like, made her shoot up for me. I mean, honestly, I have her right here, so I might as well grab her. This Adele here really completely, like, made me acknowledge how stunning the Adele face sculpt is. Like, look at that. Look at her. She is so beautiful. Like, I'm obsessed with her. Also, something interesting is in the stock photos, Adele has kind of like a almost black looking hair, but in person you can see it's like a really pretty brown color. I actually like the brown color more, but it is different in the stock photos. But, like, even the stock photos, I don't think like give enough justice to this face sculpt. She is so beautiful, and she's definitely, well, obviously she's high up on my favorites because she's number 3. Like, this face sculpt I've become such a fan of, and I, again, owe a lot to Pink Glam Adele Makeda. It's so beautiful, and she has so many good releases. And I've talked about Dollface Adele before. I don't know why I paused there. I talked about Dollface Adele before. She's one of my favorite dolls that I have seen, as far as, like, not really talking about the outfit, but just the face of Dollface Adele is so beautiful. Definitely a doll that I hope to get one day. Definitely a doll I hope to get one day for my own collection. Adele is also one of, like, the older Integrity Toys characters. Like, she has multiple face iterations. And the 2.0 face is just, it's beautiful. It's so stunning. Like, anyone who does not have an Adele in their collection, I highly recommend her. She's just so beautiful. So yeah, Adele comes in at number 3. A face sculpt I love, a face sculpt I hope to collect even more of in the future. But now let's get to number 2. Okay, so now we're on to number 2 of my, like, top 10 favorite face sculpts. And here we have Kiori Sato 1.0, and she is a fashion royalty girl. So Kiori is a little bit different, and some of you guys in the comments might think I'm judging unfairly or something, which, it could be up for debate. But my love for Kiori Sato is specifically the new screening that was done by Jessie Ayala for the Redefined Luxury Kiori, which is why I have her twice here. The 1.0 doesn't have many modern screenings, but the screening on Redefined Luxury Kiori, which I have pre-ordered, so I will be getting her at some point, like once they're ready to start shipping out. The screening on this doll is immaculate. It is so perfect. Like, I have never been so jaw dropped by a release ever than seeing the face of this Kyori. I also like the outfits and everything Kyori comes with in this set, but the face on this Kyori I am so hypnotized by. She's so beautiful, and I understand the screening is the main reason that I'm so pulled in, but yeah, I could not. If I didn't have it on the list, I felt like I would have been lying to myself. So she's here mainly because the Redefined Luxury. Now, Deceptively Yours, I think, also shows off some of the beautiful features in the sculpt as well. But really, it's all about the screening for Redefined Luxury. It's just so beautiful. I love, I don't know, her features are just stunning. I don't even know how to put it into words. But the image right here below me now, this image, I have saved on my phone, and I have looked back at it and just been like, wow, that doll is perfect. Perfect. So Kiori Sato, I ended up putting her at number 2. Again, might be controversial considering it's over one screening. But still, I'm a stand by it. I hope we see more Kiori in the future, with this screening or new screenings. But Kiori, beautiful, just beautiful, and that's why she comes in at number 2. So now let's go ahead and reveal what my number 1 face sculpt is in all of Integrity Toys. So if you have watched more than one of my videos, or any of my Integrity Toys videos really, this reveal is not a grand reveal. It's not surprising or anything like that. My number 1 face sculpt in all of Integrity Toys is Alejandra Luna by the New Face line. So I have not been shy about sharing how much I love this face sculpt. I am a huge Alejandra Luna fan, and these are all 3 of her releases because she's still a newer face sculpt, so she's only had 3 releases so far. And I actually do have Varsity and Billion Dollar Beauty. In fact, Varsity, she's right here. And this is also my favorite screening of the face sculpt so far. I'm going to have to take her little hat off. But the Alejandra Luna face sculpt is just so beautiful. It's severe, but so beautiful. And I don't know. She's just giving, I don't even know. Almost like a Latin pop star. And she looks mean, but in a fierce way, not mean just to be mean, if that makes sense. She is just such a beautiful doll. I love Alejandra Luna so much. When I first started collecting Integrity Toys, again, I already knew she was kind of my favorite face sculpt. Oh no. I already knew she was basically my favorite face sculpt when I started collecting. And I've been a fan of her ever since. Again, been following Integrity Toys for a while. When Billion Dollar Baddie came out and I saw people reviewing her and posting photos of her, I was like, that doll is insanely beautiful. I was just jaw dropped. And then my first W Club year I joined, we had the upgrade doll of Billion Dollar Beauty, who I have. She's literally right over there, just slightly off camera. And yeah, and then I ended up getting Varsity, which was this was a grail doll of mine. You can see my unboxing video of her on this channel. But when I first started collecting Integrity Toys, I considered her to be a grail doll. She was one of the best dolls that I dreamed of having in my collection one day, and I was able to get her in my collection, which I still feel every time I look at her I get so happy. So yeah, Alejandra Luna is definitely my favorite Ooh. My favorite face sculpt from Integrity Toys. I love this sculpt so much. Even like one of my little side goals is kind of to get all the Alejandra Luna face sculpts. I don't know if that, well, releases, but I don't even know if that's something I'm gonna like really push for. Like with my Integrity Toys collection, especially like as it's been growing, I'm very much only pursuing the dolls that I'm very interested in. I don't want to get dolls just like for the completionist in me. So like if Alejandra Luna has a bad release, hard to imagine, but if there's ever an Alejandra Luna that comes out that doesn't speak to me, I don't want to like go after it just because Alejandra Luna. I want to make sure it's because I care about the character, not the character, but like I like the doll and the clothing and everything. I don't want to pursue it just because it's Alejandra. With that being said, though, every Alejandra that's been out so far, I'm in love with, and I'm only missing one. Obviously, she's only had 3, but I do hope to have $1 Billion Baddie one day. She's definitely like one of those like uh, dolls that's in the back of my mind. It's like I'm gonna get her one day. I don't feel like the dying urge to have her because $1 Billion Beauty kind of like satiates it a little bit, but I still do want $1 Billion Baddie because I do think $1 Billion Baddie is better than I'm gonna just say Beauty and Baddie. I do think Baddie is better than Beauty because Baddie is just, first off, she's the original Alejandra Luna. Like that's her like debut look. That's like the face sculpt's like original, like what they imagined her to look like. And second, I don't know, the gold, the dark hair, and she's just got bigger makeup. And again, I've said it throughout this, I'm a big fan of big makeup. So Baddie, I think, is the better version when you compare Baddie and Beauty. But at this current moment, I think Varsity is the best release of Alejandra Luna so far. So I'm really happy I do have Varsity. So I do have my favorite Alejandra Luna ever. But I still do want to get Baddie at one point. But still, all 3 of these dolls would, like, with that face card, they outrank so many other dolls. I just love Alejandra Luna so much. She's just so beautiful. But that is the end of this video. That it like wraps it all up. I have gone over all of my top 10 favorite face sculpts for Integrity Toys. I had so much fun doing this, and this was different because I've done quite a few Integrity kind of top 10 related videos at this point, and I enjoy doing them, but a lot of times I'm looking through the clothing and like the full doll looks and stuff like that, and this was fun because I didn't really care at all about the outfits while putting this together. I was like looking specifically at faces and like the makeup and everything, which was really fun because not that I don't look at that when I'm looking at like ranking dolls in general, but it was fun to like focus in on just the face to be like which ones have the best face sculpts and then like which screenings represent the face sculpt the best in my opinion. So that was a lot of fun and really different than what I've been able to do in the past so far. So I did enjoy this. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. I would literally love to hear y'all's favorite face sculpts down in the comments below. It doesn't have to be a top 10, but I love hearing like people's favorites and like why they're your favorite or something like that. So as always, down in the description below, you can find my Instagram, which is his.dolls on Instagram. You can also find a link to me and my brother's podcast. It's called We're Literally Obsessed. It's here on YouTube as well as on Spotify. And it's a podcast where me and my brother talk about our obsessions of the week. Again, the show is on like a bit of a break while my brother adjusts to his new move. Like he recently just moved across the country. So while he's doing that, we're kind of just chilling, but it will be starting up back soon. And I guess that's about it. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.